The new Viking civilization and commanders are about to land in game, so the big question is, should you invest in these commanders or switch civilizations? Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this video we're going to answer a couple very simple questions. Should you switch to the new Viking civilization? We've got new information about the special units that'll definitely be helpful to go over. In addition, we'll talk about the new commanders. Are they going to be worthy of your investment? For some players, yes, but in my opinion, for most players, especially those later into the game, the answer is probably no. So let's kick things off with the civilization, which gives some pretty sweet bonuses, right? We know that it already gives attack, 5% for infantry, counterattack of 3%, which is pretty cool, a little bit of a load bonus. But we've now got some information about the special units. You can sort of see what they look like. Here is what the T4 unit looks like. And here is what the T5 unit is going to look like. And the thing that is, I think, most exciting about the special unit is that it has extra defense and health compared to the other infantry special units and the infantry base unit. So I think this is pretty exciting to have a special unit that has defense and health boosted. That is very, very strong. Combined with the fact that they have more attack to begin with, 5% infantry attack if you are using the Viking civilization, I think it's a pretty solid combat civilization overall. The 3% counterattack is pretty cool, regardless of what unit type you're using. And if you're using infantry, the bonus defense and health is pretty good. If we compare very briefly to the other bonuses that you already have from, for example, Rome, if you're already using Rome, I don't really think you would need to switch. I personally prefer the march speed to the counterattack. Yeah, the counterattack gives you some combat effectiveness, but I would really not underestimate the value of being able to get to wherever it is that you're going. And for overall open field combat goodness, it is very hard to argue with France. I will say the hospital healing speed probably does less than you think for most people. Like the 20% healing speed, you've just got to be doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days of healing to really get even a dozen days worth of saved healing speed up value to be really benefiting from that hospital healing speed. I think it's a little bit of a trap, but the throwing axeman is a great unit. The health is really good. So do you need to switch? No. Could you switch? Sure, I think it will be fine. If you're getting focused a lot, the extra counterattack damage is kind of cool. But for the most part, I think most players don't need to go out of their way to switch to the Viking civilization. For me personally, when I'm not in KVK, I'm going to be using Germany. When I am in Ark of Osiris League, I'm going to be using a civilization that has a march speed boost. When I'm in KVK, I'm probably using a civilization that is giving me the most damage necessary or possible for either a rally or garrison situation, which is very likely to put me on the Ottoman civilization anyways. But let's switch gears and talk a little bit about these new commanders. Let's start with the Epic. The Epic commander is going to be available in the Tavern and also from this event, Warriors of the Frozen Sea. This is going to probably take some number of weeks to complete this event to get your free unlock. So I suspect you're going to get them from the Tavern before you get them from here. But the thing that's most exciting about this commander is actually his kit. If we look at the skills on the new Epic commander, the thing that I think people are going to underestimate, and it's insanely good, is the bonus skill damage taken by the target, the increased skill damage taken by the target, and they can hit up to 3 targets from their expertise skill over here, making them take that increased skill damage for 3 seconds. That is a big deal. People really like Tamaris. For Ark of Osiris, for swarming buildings in particular, for open field, for swarming players down, making the target take more skill damage is actually kind of a big deal. 3 seconds, 15% boost is really good. This is going to be really good in Canyon as well for early game players. In fact, I'm going to make the really bold claim right now that the number 1 epic is Sun Tzu, and the number 2 epic is going to be this dude right over here as soon as he lands. And okay, yeah, Joan of Arc is really good too. Okay, I gotta say Joan of Arc is, of course, really, really good, but she's in sort of a different class. She's doing all this buffing, right? That's going to be good for a very long time. But just for raw fighting capability, the ability to do damage, I think this dude and Sun Tzu paired together are going to be beasts. You use this new epic as the primary. You use Sun Tzu as the secondary. Oh my gosh. You're making them take more skill damage and then you deal a ton of skill damage. For players in the early game, this is going to be massive. By the time your kingdom is like I'm talking about like kingdoms that are 1900 and older, probably you're moving away from commanders like this anyways. Certainly by 1700 and older, you're moving away from a lot of these epics and into the legendaries. And in that regard, really only Sun Tzu and Joan of Arc will probably hold up. But I do think maybe having one of these around for swarming a building in Ark of Osiris could still be pretty good for younger kingdoms and younger Ark of Osiris leagues like Bastet or younger. Now, when it comes to the legendary commander, I mean, I've got good and bad news here. The good news is you probably don't have to spend any sculptures on him because I don't think he's going to be all that great. That is also kind of the bad news is it'd be nice to see a commander really shake up the meta and give us some new options. I think if you're in KVK seasons 1 through 3, the new legendary commander has a lot of potential with his kit here, making it so that you deal 40% increased damage and also take 20% less damage. But the reason I don't think he's going to be meta defining, let's start with open field, is because he doesn't do area of effect damage and he's not doing major debuffs or AoE buffs, area of effect buffs. I mean, he's just too focused on single target stuff. The debuff he does cuts healing, which is like fine, but we have a lot of ways to do that already. I don't think he's going to be particularly important for swarming a Zenobia. We just have so many other options to cut healing on Zenobia. I'm not optimistic about his role after KVK Season 3. So I would not spend, especially because he's a gold key commander, any universal sculptures on this commander unless you are a mega whale. If you are a mega whale, I will be really curious to see somebody test combinations with this commander for early seasons of KVK. Like, is a Charles Martel rally with this commander something that actually makes sense? Or Alexander the Great or whatever. I'll say that you probably want a Rage Engine to pair with him. That seems really, really important to me. And that is because his active skill is an effect, and it's going to last for a while. So the more rage you're generating, the faster you fire off your active skills, the more uptime you have on that 40% increased damage and 20% decreased damage taken. That seems really good. But the real problem I see with this new commander, and also the epic a little bit, is that they've only got 3 skills relevant to most situations. They've all got 1 skill dedicated to hitting cities only. And that to me is just very, very, very unexciting. Not that people don't want to hit cities. It's just that, I'd rather have that be an ability that also works on garrisons and cities. Now, if that were true, you'd have a lot more potential with this commander. 10% more damage when attacking cities and garrisons would be much more interesting. To me, this commander's role seems just extremely similar to Julius Caesar, Hannibal Barca, Frederick I. Basically, they become obsolete after KVK Season 3, certainly. And I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't use them in the field. They're just not all that exciting and effective. Now, I didn't mention Mehmed, who's one of those earlier commanders, because Mehmed does area of effect damage, and that holds a lot of value for a very, very long time. And if this commander had AoE damage or some amount of march speed or something that would be really compelling in the open field, I'd say, okay, he seems really good for that. But lacking those things, the good news is you don't have to invest in him. The bad news is I don't think we're really going to see much of a shakeup in the meta for players that are in this season of Conquest. Now, we can give you a sneak peek at the active skill. It looks like just a swipe animation over here for the epic commander, which, that's no anchor falling from the sky, if you know what I mean. YSS has to be my favorite animation of all time. Give that animator a raise. It was so good. We can see that his sculptures are going to show up in the metal store, and here is that Warriors of the Frozen Sea event we were showing a picture of earlier in the video. The next commander, the legendary, his animation, I hope you didn't blink. Because if you blinked, you might have missed it. Hold on, let me replay that. All right, here we go. Let's try to catch that again, okay? Maybe I got to run that in slow motion. It is if we get a look at the patch notes, which are going to be landing very, very soon, I just want to call attention to the fact that the Champions of Olympia will be arriving. This game mode is really fun. It's really cool. You're probably going to spend a lot of time playing this. I hope that they will add a ranked version of the Champions of Olympia. And if you want to get a jump on how to play this, I'll have a card up in the top for the video where we got early access with a bunch of other content creators. And I do a very detailed strategy guide. It's going to give you everything you need to know about absolutely dominating in this event. And the thing I'm probably most excited about in these other updates here is that they have optimized the calculation method for designating Imperium kingdoms. When you're in the Season of Conquest, you get half your troops back that die, which is really great. And now those troops in the Hall of Heroes are going to count as a part of the Imperium power calculations. This makes it less possible for super large kingdoms to drop a bunch of power and get in a huge migration, because half that power they're getting back is still going to count toward their Imperium burden. This is generally a very good thing for the balance of keeping kingdoms from getting too powerful. And I will say, we're in the middle of a migration right now to Kingdom 75. This may be one of the last times we're out of Imperium for quite some time. I don't know after our next KVK if we'll be able to even leave Imperium. But we're out of Imperium now, which means if you're less than 60 million power, you actually could come and join our kingdom. This is going to actually favor us tremendously when they patch in the fact that 50% of people's troops are now going to count toward their power from the Hall of Heroes, because we're not in KVK, and a lot of large kingdoms still are in Kingdom versus Kingdom. So we've got a really great migration going. We've gained a tremendous amount of power and great players in our kingdom. The hospitals for a lot of players are full now, so we'll probably gain a lot of power once people heal down their hospitals after this migration is complete. But if you'd like to join us, the information is down below in a pinned comment. You can check that out and join our migration Discord. And even if you don't join the kingdom and you just get a look around in the migration Discord, I think it's a good idea just to see what an organized kingdom looks like when they're recruiting players, so you know what to look for when you want to join another kingdom, or if you're trying to set something up for your own kingdom. Later tonight, we're going to be streaming the Wheel of Fortune. That is right over here. Double wheel of XY. That'll happen near reset today. And then some Soroli Crisis with the Horsemen. That is also going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to make sure you don't miss the live streams we do, consider subscribing and throw a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.